there's a big enduring conspiracy theory that someone like Bill Gates has done things that are nefarious as it relates to health. And they're like, I guess the two pieces people are connecting is they're saying, well, he's worked a lot, he's very rich and powerful, and he's very, very interested in health.
Biotech
and vaccines and all these other things. And someone very, 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 very powerful. We often think of, very powerful, successful, influential people as being somewhat like evil or not having our interests at heart. And then someone who's spending a lot of money on like health and medical side of things is quite an unusual thing. So we put two and two together. We have, we think they have bad intentions because they are a billionaire.
Yeah.
And that word is, comes with certain preconceptions. And then health, and then a pandemic happens. And I think people, this is how I think a lot of conspiracies rise.
Name a movie from when you were a kid where the bad guy or where the super rich person in the movie wasn't the evil.
Yeah.
I mean, it's programmed into the media. It's a definite programming that was very deliberate in our country. It's like always the rich people are evil. But then people will say, oh, well, Tony Stark was rich. They made him a sociopath.
It's interesting because I think, I can make the case that at some point it's intentional, but at some point also it becomes such a clear stereotype that you have to follow that stereotype when you're like writing movies, or else it doesn't make sense to people.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it was intentional within the last like 200, 300 years. We're talking about like the Brothers Grimm, ancient fairy tales. And I think it was intentional then, like having wealth is bad. There's virtue in poverty. That's the big thing they wanted to communicate to their kids. Poverty is virtuous. And of course, like we're still doing a lot of that stuff today. But the reason is exactly what you're saying is correct. I think it's burned into like some collective archetype of what stories have become.
And we wouldn't recognize it. So like if I watched a movie and there was a very successful billionaire businessman, all I have to say is that for you to fill in the gaps. You're thinking private jet. You're thinking how they treat people. You're thinking, they're on their phone with a briefcase. You're thinking, that they have what they're wearing. You know what they're wearing. And I didn't say any of that stuff.
Yeah. And you made me feel clever because I put all that stuff together. It came from my own mind. And speaking of archetypes, that's the second way that you can win any court case in the world